Sister Circle, Sister Circle.
Entertainment.
It's time for the Sister Circle, Sister Circle, Sister Circle. It's time for the Sister Circle, Sister Circle, Sister Circle.
Well, hello, and welcome to the Sisterhood. We are the sisters, and this is our circle. We are so glad you joined us. It would not be complete without you. I am Dee Marie.
I'm Kara Cherie. I'm Dr. Dawn.
I'm Sally.
And I'm Jen. Come and sit where the conversation is different. Yeah. Well, guess what time it is now? It is time for Sister Chat.
All right.
So you guys, we are here.
Yes.
Can you guys believe it? So it took a time, I guess a little bit of time for us to get to this point because we were talking about it and we weren't quite sure how it was going to go. So tell me, how y'all feeling?
Nervous.
Excited that today is the day. I am so excited.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing too.
It is.
To see it come to fruition after we talked about it for so long.
Did you any expectations of today, or this is our very first episode? What were you think was going to happen?
I mean, seeing all this.
It's beautiful. Like the set is beautiful. The studio is just amazing.
And you all look like superstars.
That's a glow. That's a glow.
Yes, absolutely.
So, you guys just so excited. I just can't believe that as much as we talked about, this, and I always talk about the different shows that I see, and I'm like, I can't wait till we get to that point. And here we are.
Yes.
Here we are. And what a blessing that the five of us, I'm about to say four, because I forgot about myself, that the five of us are able to do this. And I think it's sends a message to other circles, that they can do whatever they want to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we're a circle. And one thing about the Sisterhood Circle is, even though it's five of us and we're sitting here, our complete circle is you. So you that are joining us and they're watching us, it just makes it full. We want to invite you in us. You may not have a circle, but guess what? You have one now. And it is the Sisterhood. So excited. What else, you guys, leading up to this moment?
Well, one thing I think about, there's a saying that says, hope deferred makes the heart sick. And I know that this has been a long time coming, but it's so impactful that we get to actually realize our dream.
Yeah.
Think about how many vision boards we've done together and apart. But this is actually a dream come true.
It is.
This is a vision that has been manifested. And really, Didi, the credit goes to you.
Yeah. I would agree.
The credit goes to you. You have steered the ship. Didi, you've had the vision. You have had, you kept us all in line.
The mastermind.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're here because really, we supported you, but then you believed in us.
Yes. And now I'm like, what are we doing? It'll all come together. Yeah. It always does. Yeah. Because we always manage to get together. Yeah. And my hope is that we inspire, and we, even though we are the sisterhood, not just women, but just inspire anybody that whatever you put your heart to, and it's good to collaborate with people. Yes. This is not about our own thing. This is each one of us, because we each bring unique gifts. And the great thing is we can bring those gifts together and make this happen. Yes. Because what I don't have, you have. What you don't have, Dawn has. Yeah. What she doesn't have, Sally has. And what Sally doesn't have, Jen has.
Yes.
And with those gifts and those talents coming together, we now have the sisterhood, and we're just tired of, hearing about what people say that women can't come together. That's not true. We want to get rid of that myth.
Yeah.
And say that you can have a positive and a healthy relationships with your sisters.
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk about how this even came to fruition. How did the sisterhood even happen? It went from a girls' trip to, unfortunately, a tragedy. And now we are aiming towards triumph.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Because, unfortunately, life happens and when it does, we have each other, you know, or whoever you have to help you get through those hard times. So we're going to talk about how we got together.
Yeah.
And not all of it is roses, you know, but it's what happened and it's life. So we actually started with Kira.
Yeah, so I wanted to take a trip to a women's event, and I had looked up, you know, this is the last of this particular conference, and I wanted to go. I hadn't been, but I didn't want to go by myself, and so I put out the call. You know how you do when you get ready to go somewhere. You're like, who actually has some money? So we don't have to stay in a crummy hotel. And it was really divine because God had us in mind the whole time. And I probably asked, oh my goodness, probably 10 to 15 other people. And this was the group that responded. And we all know each other and have relationship with each other in different ways.
Yeah.
But that particular conference, this was the group that responded. So we headed out. We went to the event. We had some ups and downs trying to get to our final destination. But it was divine because God had us on a path that He knew this group needed to be together.
Yes.
And so we got what we needed at the conference, but it was so much more.
It was so much more.
Yeah, it was so much.
The ride down was fantastic. I mean, it was so much fun. So quality time is my number one love language. So having that conversation through the trip, laughing, getting to know each other, we cried, we shared some of our deepest feelings, and that started that bond going, and we didn't even have any clue.
Not a clue.
What was coming out of that. We were just driving,
Because
riding,
really,
having a good time.
like Jen, you didn't know Sally. I didn't know Sally or Dr. Don. I knew you. I knew Kira, of course, from school. But yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect. But I was like, well, if Kira and Dee Dee are going, I know I'll at least have a lot of fun and a lot of laughs. So that's what motivated me to say, okay, I need to come this time. I missed my girls, and I was going to meet some new people.
Yeah.
So and I get the idea with sisterhood circles and being nervous about, oh, now I got to meet somebody new.
She was pretty reserved. She was like, who's this chipper short lady here?
But Sally is not going to let you stay in a corner or stay too quiet.
No, she's not.
And
That's why she's the sheriff.
Yeah, Sheriff Sally. But I just, it was the best experience and the greatest time to get to know you two ladies and to just bond with you and to know that now I've got more sisters for life.
And it was so organic. The whole setup, the conversations, just getting together was so organic, and I think that was probably the best part of it. It almost felt like we knew each other for
Forever.
so long.
And the trip was only, what, 3 days?
It was only 3 days.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm such a private person to get around people, and I'm just purging, and it was just amazing.
It was amazing.
So how do we know each other?
So
That's a good question, Dawson.
So Kira and Jen all went to college together many, many years ago. Yeah. And we all, at one point, we all lived together. So in college. So that's how we know each other. I know Dawn and Sally from church in my older years. And that's how I know them. And they know each other. Actually, Sally and I were neighbors. We were next door neighbors.
Years ago. Didn't even know.
Right, years ago.
Again, how God orchestrates.
Yes, and brings that all together. And through me, I had walks. I did a lot for survivors of sexual abuse, and I would have walks. Jen would come, Kira came, and then and we all end up meeting. Well, my friends from college met my friends today, and now we all went out of town, and here we are. You know, it was truly unexpected. It was a call that Kira said, "Okay, this is a conference I'm going to go to," and then we went. But unfortunately, we didn't know that there was a real reason behind the call. I mean, behind the call and behind the trip. God knew that one of our sisters was going to be in need. And he brought us together. So after the trip, we were on a high. It was great. We felt fantastic because we, minister to one another.
Able to be refreshed.
Refreshed.
And vulnerable.
I think that's
For
huge.
sisterhood.
That's huge.
You're building a circle. If you're a part of a circle, being vulnerable. That was huge.
That was
we were able to just really be like naked. We didn't have to
Very transparent.
absolutely say other than ourselves.
And for me, going was, I was in a strange place spiritually, and I was like, okay, I want to go and renew, my relationship with Christ, and in the process, I got some new sisters.
That's right.
And didn't know what to expect going. I just knew these were great people. And it would be a good time. So.
And so after the trip, we all went back, but then something unexpected happened, which then now we realize why we're all together. So if Sally, if you want to share your story.
Sure. So probably less than 24 hours later, we got home, and I kind of remember certain parts of it like it was yesterday. So I got home and I thought, you know what? It was Saturday night. We got everything that we came for. So I felt like, you know what? I'm not even going to church the next day. We kind of got everything that we needed. I actually went and set up my prayer room, cleaned up, and I thought, okay, so I'm just going to have church at home, open the Bible. I felt so full at that time. So it just was another day. I got my clothes ready to go to bed for next day, which was Monday, back at work. I was excited. I wanted to share some of my experiences, not with anyone at work, but so I got ready for bed. And one thing, like I said, I normally don't do is get my clothes ready for the day before. And then all of a sudden, around 9:30, there was a knock on the door, and my youngest son opened the door and said, "Mom is a police officer." And I was like, okay, maybe there's something going on in the neighborhood. They were going to ask me. It's just something you just never, ever, ever expect. So take a deep breath. He answered the door, and the police officer came to me and said, "Hey," he said my oldest son's name, and he said, "Do you know Joshua?" And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, Joshua passed away." And I was like, and I just froze. And then I started screaming. I said, wait a minute. I just talked to him like 10 minutes prior. So it's impossible that it's him. And I remember my husband was in the laundry room, and he came out and he called on speakerphone. And then my son answered the phone, and he's like, "Hey." And so I was like, oh, thank God. I'm on the floor at this point. I'm feeling relieved because they made a mistake. And I was like, oh, thank God. And then the next thing I know, the officer said, "I'm so sorry." Said something about he's going to the car. I can't remember the details. And then he came right back 5 minutes later and he said, "I'm sorry. It was Jeremiah." And I said, "What? What are you talking about?" And then it went right back. So I had 2 minutes of relief and then right back to that same thing. And I'm in shock. I'm screaming. My husband's like, he took the police officer outside. I don't know what they were talking about. Next thing I knew, I just opened the door. I'm like, what's going on? And then sometime in the night, I guess I text you guys. I don't even remember that. That's how bad. You go through so much shock. And this is actually approaching 2 years on the 25th. So just the idea that this came together. And then, when Dee Dee said, we want to dedicate the first episode to Jeremiah, I mean, it meant the world to me. And as difficult as this is, I wanted to know that with God, and when you have a true circle of friends and sisters, and it's not necessarily the time that you know someone, it's how God, it's the relationships that you build. And I didn't even expect that from you. I mean, I just had met Jen, so it was like instantly all the support. They were just showing up, showing out. And again, with my personality, I like to be there for others. I don't know how to receive that. So it was just very strange to me. And I didn't really want anyone around besides like my other sisters. And they just kept showing up, and it went beyond that. So we started the monthly Saturday calls where we would get on the phone, we talk about what was going on, we prayed for one another. And I just thinking back, remembering the beginning of it, I couldn't barely talk, guys. I was just in a dark place, and I went through so many things. And looking back, and I'm the note taker. I love to journal, so I would journal our prayers and journal what the prayer requests were. And mine, I was just like, I don't even know what to pray for. And that's when they stepped in. They knew. I mean, of course, I'm devastated, but the fact that they continued to pray for me for strength. And going back, and you think months later, and you realize I'm not where I was.
Yeah.
Now, let me make something very clear. Grief is not a step by step. They talked about the 5 stages of grief.
Yeah.
Anger, sadness, you name it. It's like this. So it's an ongoing thing. You could feel like I'm okay today, and driving home, I'm going to break down. And that's what people don't understand. However, through Christ, through my sisters, through prayer, and again, this is just, I feel like our trip, as tragic as what happened to me, it was almost like, I don't even remember, I'm sitting in the back seat. I'm talking to Jeremiah on our trip, and he was like, Mom, where are you going? And I'm telling him I'm excited. And my birthday is September 10th. And I remember he bought me a bracelet, and I would periodically just send him pictures of my bracelet. I was so excited. And that's who he was. And so this is a good time to really talk about Jeremiah. Jeremiah was 19 years old. He was his second year of college. He would often come to visit me. He came for my birthday just 3 weeks earlier. And he was a true light. He was just like that quiet leader. He was content in the skin he was in. He was a trendsetter, and he just knew how to pick the right set of friends. And often when people pass away, friends, family, and you always have this positive thing to say about that person. And I just want to, if you guys don't mind, I would like to read a letter that I wrote to him during his senior year, and it really depicts who he was.
Okay. So actually, I think we're going to break right there. Okay, sure. When we come back, we want you to read the letter.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We'll be right back with more of the Sisterhood Circle.
I am so glad you ladies are here. You each have your own rooms.
Thank you.
Is it okay to call you Mom?
Of course you can.
And welcome back to the Sisterhood Circle. Sally, I want you to go ahead and read the letter about Jeremiah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, this is the letter I wrote to him in senior year. It says, Dear Jeremiah, I can't believe I am writing this to you. And of course, you know your mom, so you know I am crying. LOL. I can't say enough what a blessing you are to me and so many. Since you were a baby, you were truly special, always had that sweet disposition. You were such a sweet baby and made being a mom of a baby, toddler so easy. And as you have grown, you have made my job even easier. You are the most thoughtful and caring young man I know. I absolutely love so many things about you and your character. You are so confident in who you are. You are content in the skin you are in. You're a trendsetter. You're a good friend, brother, and son. You care about others, and no wonder you decided to go to school to be a psychologist and into therapy. I can tell you stories, even though that you joke, I don't remember much. You ate an entire chicken wing at age 1 sitting in your high chair. You were the only kid allowed at adult functions because you were such a sweetie and didn't cry. You were so laid back. You were in no rush to potty train, as if, what's the big rush? Just the same way you do your chores. As a young boy, you loved so many that you didn't have any best friends or best teachers because you saw the good in everyone and didn't want to hurt anyone. No matter what happened over the years, and even now. You always held a forgiving heart, and I love you for that. And let's not talk about the love you have for God. You're a faithful young man that truly has a heart to please God. You are special to him, I know. You obeyed on many occasions that I know most at your age would not do. I love that you choose friends that reflect your character. It's those things that make parents' job easy. You don't complain when you're asked to run errands or pick up and drop off your brother. Of course, we would make you anyway, but the fact that you don't is such a plus. I love that you don't judge people and have compassion for people that may not share your same values. I love how you try hard to please so many, but not to the point that you're a people pleaser. I can go on and on, Jeremiah. I can't tell you enough how proud I am of you. You set a goal to do this, and you are here, and now we'll be entering college life and adult life. I keep crying thinking of that, but all tears of joy. I know God has a plan for your life. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to give you hope in the future. I know God will give you the desires of your heart, and he will be there every step of the way. As I have always told you over the years, do not try to be perfect. You will make mistakes, and it's okay, because we serve a merciful God that has mercy is new each and every day. I thank God for you, and thank God for choosing me to be your mother. Well done, son. You are about to embark on a great and new wonderful journey. I am so proud of you, and I am here for you for the rest of my life. I love you, son. Mom, aka Sally, as you call me.
That was beautiful.
Sally. Thank you.
Beautiful. That was beautiful.
That's just who it was, and just a true light. And I just want to do everything to honor him for the rest of my life. And I want the world to know Jeremiah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the great thing too about Jeremiah is that because he was such a wonderful young man, Dr. Dawn has an organization called Titus II Foundation, and I'll let Dr. Dawn tell about that. But there is a scholarship in for Jeremiah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, of course, I've known Jeremiah since he was a small one. Out of Sally's 3 boys, he was the most calm, reserved. He's probably the only one that you would want to, babysit or whatever, because the other 2 have quite personalities, but he's always very polite and respectful. I also had the opportunity to be his counselor in teen church for a few years once he was in teen church, and just a gentle soul. He was a wonderful, respectful young man. So when this happened, Sally and I have been great friends for a long time. She actually serves on my board, the Titus II Foundation, which helps high school students navigate their high school careers. And so I thought, what better way to honor Jeremiah than to have the JD Memorial Scholarship in his honor. And what it does is it helps college students, since he was a college student, who have balances. We help them continue their education. They have balances less than $1,500. So I thought it's a no-brainer for me to honor him, to honor Sally. Sally helps all the time. She serves on the board, and so it was just a great idea. So.
Yeah, and we're so grateful, Dawn, for you for doing that for Jeremiah. And this first show is dedicated in his honor, because of where we've come from together. We know we've been there to help Sally and to honor, we want to honor Jeremiah as well. So again, we just thank you all for tuning in to the Sisterhood Circle. We are just so excited. This is our inaugural episode, and we just want to continue to bring you some amazing and encouraging content, and we can't wait for you guys to come back to our circle, so you can just stay with us. But until next time, thank you so much for always tuning in, and we are the sisters, and this is our circle.
Yeah.
Girl, go with your best self. Come to the circle where conversations is really hell. Yeah, you don't gotta hide, but you keep it side. Come complete the circle, girl, get rid of your pride. It's the time to be alive, you are not alone. We gon' help you strive, we all in the zone. We got God on our side, come catch a vibe. When you listen to, you already know what's the time.
It's time for the Sister Circle. Sister Circle.